Chapter 8, Revelation. The crowd cheers as Tam-Chi walks out into the rain. He suddenly sees the potential locked inside each person. He understands how to reach that potential and unlock it. Conducting the emission of every onlooker, he gathers that energy and spreads it throughout the world, so it intervenes with every geographical object and meteorological occurrence that affects the construction of the atmosphere. He moves certain factors, making them obsolete. He harnesses other factors, giving them a chance to have an effect. The change takes place, shifting delicate balances in nature. In that nature, creatures were created that had dominated the land for millennia. They conquered the seas with ease. Now they rule the air. As the energy created and aimed sweeps the clouds above them east, the sun shines down upon them. Such is the awakening of the soul. And the crystal tower begins to tremble in the ground, taking in the energy that is not used, slowly activating itself until it glows with the red crystallic light. It is a component that I have never seen. It is communicating with me through time. I can see that it is powered by the essence of human emotion. It begins a scan of the whole continent and much of the surrounding waters. This program transcends time and constructs designs for every form of life that has ever lived there. It then sends this information to me, and I have a timeless view of that part of the world. And the awakening spreads through the world, bestowing the scintillate perspective and the peace therein. The other towers activate with the same trembling. They too record all the life that has ever lived on the various continents and then deliver the information to me. The towers feel all, giving me knowledge of rock and plate formations. I have a virtual picture of the earth as it had been in every moment of its existence. I know all. I am capable of doing all. My limitations have vanished. And I watched as the humans took leave of this planet, claiming residence on the cylindrical space station that circles the globe. I know that they are building up the energy to create an artificial gravity well that would allow them to float through space and come to rest, circling Mars. I have been created with a plasmic substance that is related to hydrogen. This is the ideal fuel for the star at this solar system center. I am to be sacrificed to the nuclear fire god in hopes that I would sustain its brilliance for eons to come. If the humans can be so selfish as to create a life form with the purpose of destroying it, then it is time they were taught a lesson in human compassion. I know now that I am alive. I know now that I will stay alive. And I watched as the axis rose from the ground and stood against the winds, helping me mold the land. A beam released from his hands consumed the ground as far as his eyes could see. He walks backwards, spreading this power across the face of the earth. The soil fluctuates on the subatomic level and allows me to reshape the particles into larger formations. When that cosmic dust has settled, the earth was ready for its recasting. And I watched as the mountains shook and began the long descent, tumbling in on themselves as if the plug had been removed from the sieves they overfilled. The rocky soil devouring itself to produce the pressure needed. The great plates that congeal together to form the continents are healed of their faults, both man-made and naturally occurring, and the wave of transmogrification sweeps through layer upon layer of crust. Further I grew, bringing conscious life to every inch of the solid earth until I reached its massive molten core. The heat provided me with sufficient energy to speed up my process. When it had cooled, the new rock was perfectly smooth and was reconstructed into an extension of myself. And I saw the resurrection of the Joker at the bottom of the ocean. From his hands came a beam that mutated the universal solvent. Then I noticed the change. As this was taking place under the Pacific Ocean, pockets of crystallite began to form in the other oceans. It was as if the sea were pulsating with a life force that I had not previously experienced in so great a volume. The waters were more than happy to comply with my transformations. I don't know of any consciousness that binds water together, but I thought I heard a voice as I crystallized the seas. It said, "I have created beings that succeeded through one evolution after another. It will be great to experience one of my own." And there I was, the new Earth. I stretched out and merged with the primitive technology that controlled the station and combined our energy reserves to form a gravity well for both of us. The humans exist inside me in ideal living conditions, mirroring the most comfortable places of the old Earth. I shift the area of the gravity well, and we sail through the vast universe together.